Okay, guys, hello, welcome. Today we're here for Vindland Saga this time, episode 7. It's a bit of a chonker of an episode, not a lot actually happening in this episode. It's a bit slower than I'd like it to be, not a lot of plot progression, but we do get a bit of characterization from a character we haven't seen in a long time. If you remember, Master Keto, the Master, he's a big point in this episode. This review is probably going to be much shorter than all my other ones, but we'll get into it as I can. Like I said, not a lot of plot progression, but we do get some good dialogue in between those scenes before we get to like the meat of the episode, which is like possibly like halfway through. Now, before we even get into like what's happening here with Einar, just before this, we get a little scene with Snake. Apparently, Snake is finally doing his job, what he's supposed to do, which is catch thieves. So they've been alerted that thieves have been stealing bread or potatoes or their supplies, essentially, and Snake is like on the lookout for these people. We don't know who these thieves are yet, but we're going to come to them very shortly. After that, finally getting into more of what's been happening on Thorfinn and Einar's farm here. They've sowed their seeds. We don't really know how long it's been. We can assume it's like maybe autumn here by the trees, or the color of the trees. But just like knowing what's happening. They've sowed their seeds now. They're starting to grow bit by bit. Einar teaching Thorfinn how to pray. Thorfinn's never done this before. He knows nothing about praying. He knows nothing about the gods. He knows nothing about any religion in particular, actually. But Einar's there to like show him the way, right? Not that like praying can help you with crops. Listen, science. Science, listen to me. All right, but that's what really they're up to, this whole time, just, doing all those things. Now, we also get introduced to, I alluded to him a long time ago. This is Master Keto's first son. Here he is. He is a big Billy Badass. He is a warrior through and through. He is savage. He is merciless. He's barbaric. He is everything you would expect from a man of this age. He is honestly a psychopath. Like literally, no doubt, he is a bona fide psychopath, a freak of nature. Now he's back in town. It's explained. He had a meeting he just got back actually from Canute's army from England. And he's back in town to say hi to his dad, say hi to everyone on the farm. Do the things he wants to do. Say hi to his brother. Now this is where we get into. Now they have their like. Son father dialogue, like, yeah, I'm glad you're back, we're bringing you to the farm, we'll meet everyone, we'll have a nice few days here, and you can go back to the army and do your thing. He meets up with Snake. Now these guys are buddies. Now apparently Snake is the one who actually trained him, even though Snake just looks way younger than Master Keto's son. Like, I don't know how that worked, but I guess the battlefield hasn't been too kind to him, in some certain respects. Makes you age just a little bit more. He hasn't been eating carrots. The way to de-ageify yourself is just shove a bunch of carrots up your ass, and you'll look younger. All right, that's what Snake does every day. I don't know. Oh man. Anyway, they have a nice talk. Snake notifies the master, like, listen, some thieves have been around town. We've also caught them. Here they are. Here are the thieves that have been sneaking around the village or the town that they're in, the farm, and they've been stealing food. Now, it's going to get crazy for these two children here. They are children. They're, I believe the boy's like maybe 12 years old, I think they said it in this episode. And the younger sister's like just way too young, to really do anything. Now, they're going to take them to their meeting place right here, basically, where they're all having dinner. And they're going to essentially just discuss what to do with these children. Now, the master has a final say of what to do about these kids. However, it's explained through this like scene of dialogue here. When the master's first son comes back, as we remember before, the second son has a dream to like go on the battlefield, prove himself as a man. Now the second son's like, "Oh, that's great, let's do it. Why don't you kill these kids?" It's like and this is his brother telling him this, like, "Oh, you can't do it. You're just kind of a pussy." Like the relationship is not strained. It's just like so casually, like, "Yeah, my brother's a bit of a bitch. You should be respecting our father. No, he's a real Viking." And they tell the story about the master. I also alluded to this in other reviews, that the master is this legendary warrior, legendary quote unquote, who has killed and pilfered tons of. He also the son here pulls a prank on him and gives him like a bunch of dried earlobes. Just like, isn't that disgusting? We got these from the Englishman. Isn't that crazy? He's a psychopath, a literal psychopath, cutting off the ears of his enemies and then giving them to his brother as a present. you can't, you can't. There's no other word for it, right? He's a psychopath. He's crazy. Obviously, his brother's like, whoa, what the fuck? All right, then we get into the discussion about their father and what he's done in his early days as a Viking. How he was so strong. After he breaks his weapon, he just goes in with his fists and kills people with his fists. That's why he's called Iron Fist. So we're just really, flexing the nuts of his dad. Really, we're building the legend here. And he's like, you should really show him some respect. After this, Snake finally comes by. I was like, okay, let's figure out what to do with these slave children here. We're gonna have like they call it a thing in the Norse Viking land. It can also mean like meeting. They call it the thing. I'm not exactly sure why it's called that, but that's what it's called, I guess. If history is correct, they use the same terminology here in these episodes in the first season as well, I believe. Anyway. So they have a meeting here. They want to know their names. They want to know who they are. We find out that they're actually the children of a person who works on his farm, the master's farm. And their father, he had died, and now have a sick mom they have to take care of. They can't till the land because they're just children. They don't know what they're doing. They're not really strong, so they've been going around the farm stealing food for their mom, their sick mother. It's quite sad. Now, as we can like definitely see the differences between the master here and his children. We can see here, while the master, listening to their story, is just so heartbroken. He actually feels empathy. Like, not like his psychopathic son. It's actually explained even a little later that the master here is deathly afraid of his son and like what he's capable of, because his son is just this bona fide fucking freak who could go around any day murdering people just because he's a Viking warrior and he can do that. But he's lucky that he has this reputation that, the people won't fuck with him so willingly, without it. If he didn't have that, who knows what happened on the farm, right? Who knows what, like, who knows how much respect he would lose. I'm already alluding to it, but the stories are bullshit. Absolutely bullshit. He's a fraud. He's a phony. You're a phony. Yes, you're a phony. So they talk a while about what to do with these children. Snake basically comes to the decision, okay, master. Actually, I'm sorry. The head slaver here. All right. I'm sorry. First of all, Snake and the son, the master's son. They're like, okay, we need to punish these slaves in some way, shape, or form. The master's son. He's like, all right, let's chop off all their arms, all their legs, or kill them. We have to make an example of everyone else on the field. Master's like, shit, kill them. What the fuck? That's, and he's like, almost like flabbergasted. He has it's like he has like no power, even though he has all the power. He's just again, he's a fraud. He's basically a coward in many respects. He can't, especially when it comes to his son. He just like can't make strong decisions because he's so afraid of him, deathly scared of his son. Again, his son is like this literal psychopath that he has to keep up like these appearances to everyone, right? Otherwise, things will all go to shit. And he's just stuck in this lie, unfortunately. And so he has to do he's forced to do very harsh things to people that he himself wouldn't want to do because he's actually empathetic, especially to children. He doesn't want to hurt children. So remember, if I, like, in my last reviews, I said that, like, the master's not all bad, like, even though he's a slaver, he's empathetic and he doesn't like to hurt people and he gives people chances. His son is not that. His son is the antithesis of everything that his father is, but the son doesn't realize that his father's a coward. So here we have they're really trying to make a decision here. They're ready to like kill these children, chop their arms off, punish them super severely, whatever they want. So the head slaver here, forget his name again, whatever, head slave, he's going to calm everyone down. He's like, listen, here we have a different plan here. We can do something else. We're going to keep you guys here on the farm, and you're going to be our slaves, technically, to work to pay off the debt of what you stole, and we're going to teach you how to till land so you can make money for your sick mother, and we'll give you medicine, we'll do that, and you're just going to work that money off. So you have this opportunity to help us while we're going to help you. And it's a much more amicable solution than what, the master's son was providing. He's like, let's just, almost kill them, really like destroy their bodies, So this is obviously a huge benefit for everyone. And immediately, because the master here, he's like, he can't. Again, he's a coward, so and he can't like speak up in front of his son. Even though he doesn't want to do what his son wants to do. So when his head slaver here remarks with this new situation, this new thing they can do, he's like, okay, yes, absolutely, absolutely, let's do that. Let's do that. I was like, okay, we'll do that. But, however, we still have to punish them. Now, so the brother, very courageous of him. Instead, so that everybody decided, like, okay, we're not going to cut your arms off because you wouldn't be able to work. We're not going to kill you because we want you to help, get more money for this. Instead, we're going to give you lashes. We're going to give you 10 lashes each with just a hard piece of wood, not even like a whip, right? It's going to be like a flogging. Yes, a flogging almost. And so the son here, very brave of him, he's like, okay, I'll take my licks from my sister. Give me 20 licks. And the master son's like, oh my God, you're so brave. Absolutely. And he's reveling. He's relishing in the fact that he gets to hurt this child. Again, he's a psychopath. He is a psychopath. He doesn't give a shit. He is a menace. He's a menace. He's gonna come back around next time in the end of this arc doing crazy shit, dude. Crazy shit. He's a bona fide warrior. So he's super surprised. He's like, okay, we'll do that. We're going to punish them very severely. This is what's gonna happen. And the master himself doesn't want to like do it. He doesn't want to hurt these children, but everyone understands the logic that's going to happen here. And this has to be done to, keep up appearances on the farm. We can't let this go by without being punished. Otherwise, other people would take the opportunity to steal from us, right? And obviously that can't happen. So they're going to punish the kid. The master, very begrudgingly. The son was actually like offering to do this himself, or Snake. And the master was like, no, I'll do it, because none of these guys are going to be able to hold back. He actually hits them once, and the kid, like, takes a huge beating, I believe. He gets hit once, and it's pretty dastardly. It just knocks the wind right out of him with only one hit. So the master takes his time, alright, and we don't get to see it. We get to hear like one snippet of it. It's pretty grueling, pretty crazy. But when the master is like super just empathetic. He doesn't want to do this, and he's super afraid of his son. So he has no choice. Everyone's here, so he has to be, he has to be the leader. He has to make these harsh decisions that he doesn't want to make, and it's not really a role befitting of his stature, you could say. Now we sort of skip the beating. Very horrible. So what happens here now, we're at the end of the episode. It's a lie. The whole Iron Fist story was all a lie. Everything. Now, who is he talking to here? He's specifically talking to Einar's girlfriend. Girlfriend, on quotes. It is the slave girl who Einar is very in love with. In love. He has a huge crush on this girl. Now, we can see this. This is really like telling. If you remember, in I believe the second episode, the son was having affairs with her as well. So you can probably imagine, and you could see it in her face here in this scene where she's just coddling the master, and the master's crying and unloading all his bullshit onto her. That she has no expression at all, very blank, almost like she just doesn't care, or the fact that she's been doing this for God knows how long, whoring and fucking around because she's a slave and she has no choice. If she doesn't do what they say, she'll die, right? So she is definitely a mentally broken person. For sure. Just absolutely. You can imagine she's been doing this maybe even all her life. So she's like a cardboard with nothing drawn on it. Just a blank blank slate. It's quite sad, very sad for like her circumstances. Even the master, who is telling all this to her, even though he probably shouldn't be, because do you want to trust this woman? What if she blabs to someone else? He doesn't know, but he's a weak man anyway, so he has no choice. And obviously they slept together, and obviously if she didn't reciprocate, his feelings, she would be badly punished, probably by the master, but she wouldn't know, right? Either way, if she ends up setting off some kind of anger, sets off his temper in any kind of way, something bad could happen. So she's been going along with all this bullshit too. Obviously, her stance in life is not good, and this is just the way she's been grown up, probably living, and it's horrible. So this is for plot progression. This episode's very slow, and it's really more about like characterization and characterizing the master, who you haven't seen in a while, getting some snippets of his son, his psychopath son, and this is the setup phase. That we're really getting into it now. Like there's gonna be a huge payoff with all these characters at the end. So this is just a big setup into our overarching arc in this story, in these next few episodes, and where we're gonna go from here, and what's gonna happen with the situation on the farm, and it's gonna get crazy. War, basically. War. Dun dun dun. And yeah, that's it. I mean, you know, animation, again, standard. Nothing bad, nothing too outstanding. The music, though, it still hits as hard as it has this entire season so far and all these episodes. But that's all there is. There's lots of good dialogue, and we get good characterization again from the master here and a few others. But that's really it. I could see this episode being it's more important overall for the arc than it is in this like standalone episode. So later on, this will come back full circle. We'll get like resolutions to these characters and what they're feeling and what they're doing and what's gonna happen, and that's all good. So I'm okay with the setup. I'm okay with the slow pacing again. I can understand people would be bored. I was a little bit bored too, just watching it. But I've already read the manga, so I already know what happens. I'm already super interested in it anyway. So I'm fine with it. Maybe you want to binge the series. Like maybe if that's an option, it is on Netflix. You could just binge like 12 episodes into the arc, and it'll be a lot faster if you want to do it that way. But I've been doing it weekly by weekly, so that's how I'm doing it. Anyway, that's this episode. It was a good episode. I like seeing the master and his cowardice. It's pretty funny. I like seeing a psychopath son. That's also pretty funny. And that was it. All right, you guys. Have a good day. See ya.